Hey, what's up, everybody? Been a minute since I did a video. Welcome to Steppa Said. I go by Steppa. My name was Steppa before the meaning of Steppa became what it is now, which is like stepping was like a big stepper, like you put in that work and all that. My name was Steppa before they put that definition to that name. So I'm the original Steppa. You know what I mean? And my name don't mean I put in all this work or nothing. That's just my name. They used to call me Two Step at first because I had a little limp from my car accident. So I'm not sure how we got the Steppa. I think I just said it, Steppa, or one of my boys might have said it. I don't know. I don't know where that Steppa originated from, but I got that name like 2007. Something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, man. It's been a minute, man, but 2022 was the worst year of my life, man. I don't put videos up here of me, my dust, PCP addiction, Percocet addiction, but nothing that I've been through in my life has been worse than the things I had to deal with 2022. First of all, I lost my mother May 12th, 2022. She had like a pacemaker. She had a pacemaker and so her heart had issues, whatever, and I made a video before. I think I put up a video of my mother's crack addiction. So she had the pacemaker in, and she was still getting high. Not as much though. I could say not as much as she was prior to getting the pacemaker, but she was getting high. She was still getting high. What happened is she went to the hospital. She kept going back and forth to the hospital, like having fluid in her lungs, and she just kept going back and forth to the hospital. You know, I'll wake up, she'd be like texting me a text, I'm back in the hospital, I had to call the ambulance. And I'd be like, Mom, what's going on? You had to call the ambulance? Like, what, you back in the hospital? She was like, yeah, I'm back in here. So she kept going back and forth to the hospital. Just with issues with like her lungs, and like her lungs wouldn't get cleared and nothing like that. So, it wasn't nothing about, she was dying or anything. It was just like she was, having complications. But I got a feeling that it was more going on because how frequent she was going back and forth to the hospital. Now, my mother never was the type to, be going back and forth to the hospital. So when this started happening, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, like this is starting to get like kind of different, because she's starting to be back and forth in the hospital. So anyway, she goes to the hospital. So I was there, I went up to the hospital. So I'm talking to the doctors and all that. So they was like, yeah, we gotta go inside because I guess the pacemaker wasn't working right no more, or whatever the case may be. So, some issues happened with the pacemaker that I guess it wasn't enough to do the job that it needed to do for her. Like, I guess her situation had got different where she needed something different. So they was like, okay, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna put whatever, I forgot what it's called. I had all these papers, it was so much going on. I really didn't get a chance to digest everything they was saying. But they came and they told me like, yeah, we're gonna have to put this thing in there, a stem or something they had to do, and to kind of help with the pacemaker or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she goes and so they do the operation, whatever the case may be. So then after the operation happened, I kept calling to see was the operation over, whatever the case may be. So they was like, yeah, she's in recovery, this and that. So I goes up to the hospital. So I was like, so I'm there at the hospital. So when the doctor's in there talking, my mother whispered something to me. She was like, I said, okay, ma, operation is done. You out of there, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Everything good. And I thought she said to me, I was crying. That's what I thought. I thought she said I was crying. So I'm like, you was crying? So she's like, wait till the doctors get out of here. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the doctor's talking. So boom, the doctors leave out. So when the doctors leave out, she says to me, she said, they said I'm dying. I said, they said you dying? She was like, yeah, they said I was dying. I said, what happened? They was like, I don't know. They wasn't able to do what, I got some fruit flies in here, y'all. Heard that? I be popping their ass. I don't fuck around. That's like a little stress reliever. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I'm saying? Spank him dead on his ass. Yeah, that was a fruit fly. Sorry about that. That's the way my brain do. I jump around. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, this is a serious situation. But I use humor to kind of, when I'm going through things, and I notice this because I'm in therapy, and my therapist pointed it out to me. She said, when you go through things, you use humor to kind of help you through it. And that's just what I did just now. Some humor to help me through it, because this is a very, very sensitive subject for me, because it's only been a year and a few months, man, a couple months. So anyway, they said I'm dying. I said, why? What you mean? She said, I guess whatever they went to do, they couldn't do or whatever, or they didn't work or something. So I said, let me talk to the doctors. So the doctors, I went and talked to the doctor. The doctor was basically saying like, yeah, whatever the process that they thought they was gonna be able to do, they couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Because of whatever. Something happened, man. It was all a blur, because it was like I seen their mouth moving, but I just wasn't taking it all in. They just wasn't able to do it. And they said basically she needed another heart. But then they said that basically since they was running tests on her, I guess checking her urine when she was coming back and forth to the doctors prior to this happening, she was getting dirty urines, having cocaine in her system, crack cocaine in her system. So and then her age, she was 63, I believe my mother was. She was born in 59. So I believe she was 63 in 2022. Yeah, so they, they was like, well, since, she got the dirty urines and stuff, they not really too in a hurry, or she not top priority or any kind of priority to get a new heart, to get a heart transplant. You know what I mean? But they were saying basically she needed another heart. At that point, man, it just went downhill from that point, man. She started just being there in the bed in the hospital. I'm going up there every day, talking to her. Just talking to her, man, and it's just an undescribable type of thing that happens. I know y'all out there who lost your parent, you lost your mom. It's like a different feeling, you know what I'm saying? I just seen her declining. She went from conscious, being able to talk, and then, as days go by, she got weaker. Eyes started getting real yellow, which was showing that her liver wasn't doing well. And then as time went on, she just ended up getting weaker and weaker, to the point where she just I was going there every day, and they ended up sorry, excuse me, it's just a bit hard for me to get through this. She said she wanted to be home, basically. When she knew that it wasn't nothing else they could do, she basically just wanted to be home at her house. But my mother lived alone. And at the time, I lived in like a small apartment, me and my son. Brother lived in his apartment. My sister, I'm not sure if she still had her apartment at the time. Not sure. Not sure if she had her apartment. No, I don't know. She had some issues going on in her apartment. So she just wanted to go home. She wanted to go to her house. She wanted to be home. Once she just knew that, it was nothing. So, but she had this machine and this medicine that she had to be hooked up to that, helped her heart pump. So we had to go through the process of, well, they was gonna put us in the process to learn how to work the machine, go over it. But they basically knew that, she was on her way out and, and she wanted to be home and stuff like that. So what happened was they ended up sending her to a rehabilitation, like a place to get I don't know why they sent her there. Guess to learn, get to learn how to use the machine. I don't know. They just sent her there. She only stayed there for about 5 days, 4 days, maybe 3 days, even maybe. It wasn't that long. And then she had issues. And they said they forgot to change she sent her back to the hospital, and they forgot to change the bag of the medicine that was keeping her heart pumping. And so she went back to the hospital. So when she went back to the hospital, and mind you, for the most part of this whole thing is really me being there. It wasn't really nobody else. I mean, people came to see her and here and there, my brother came a couple of times, my sister came, but it was me, just me. And I brought my grandmother up there one time because she really didn't even want to go see her. It's just kind of weird how my family was on my mother's side. It's I don't know, man. It was we loved each other dearly, but we wasn't super close. We wasn't that close knit family like you would, expect, especially when your mother was dying. It wasn't that type of thing. It was just me there for the most part. Going to the rehabilitation center, bringing us stuff, and just mostly me. So anyway, so the day she passed, I had already been up to the hospital. I seen her, but at this point she wasn't conscious. She was breathing, but she wasn't conscious. She wasn't talking or nothing. She was just laying there, and she was just breathing. So I had went up there and seen her for the day, and I went to go pick up my car because I rent cars out. So I went and picked up my car. I had already gone to see her. Something said, go back up to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Something just said, go back up to the hospital. I don't know. I just got this feeling that go back up to the hospital. So I went back to the hospital, sat up there with her. I'm sitting on the side of her. I'm talking to my brother on the phone. So she was looking over at her. She's doing her regular, breathing, whatever. So then I went on the phone with my brother. I'm talking to him about, I forgot what we was talking about, just something. And all of a sudden, I just happened to look over and I see her like she was almost gasping for air almost. Gasping for air. And when she was gasping for air, I looked over at her and I called pushed the button for the nurses to come in. And it was just me there at the time. Nurses came in there. At this point, I looked at her and then she just stopped even doing that, even gasping. So when I kept asking the doctor, nurses is she stopped breathing, huh? She stopped breathing, huh? They was they wouldn't say nothing. They was working, doing this, doing that. And I said, man, she stopped breathing, huh? And they just looking and not saying nothing to me, but I could see that she stopped breathing. You know what I mean? So, I guess the doctor came in and he had to be the one to I guess pronounce her that she stopped breathing and pronounced her dead. But the thing I remember that's so crazy to me is I was watching the oxygen and heartbeat the oxygen is like numbers, and I just see them kept going down, 90, down, 70, down, 40, 30, 20. And I'm just looking at the oxygen thing, and I'm just looking at my mother, and I'm just basically watching her slip out of here, man. And when it hit 0, I knew she was gone. I had to call I was on the phone with my brother while I was going through all this. Well, yeah, I was on the phone with him while this was happening. Then I had to do the call that was just so hurtful. And it was the call to my grandmother, which my mother was her only kid. My mother is her only kid, man. I had to make the call to my grandmother. I called my grandmother. I said, hello? I said, hey, Grandma. She said, hey, Jerry. That's my real name, Jerry. Just let it slip out. Nah, that's cool, though. I said, hey, Jerry. I said, yeah, Grandma, she gone. She said, no, don't say that. Oh, my God, my only child. She just, don't say that, my only. She just broke down on this phone. She broke down, man. She broke down. And my grandmother was the only one left out of her siblings, and really out of that generation that my grandmother's generation that I knew. She lost all her sisters, all her brothers. Just, man, I feel like, man. So that was May 12th when that happened. And then November 10th, was that about 6 months? November, let me see, May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, about 6 months later, I lose my grandmother. My mother's mother, the one I had to call. She went in the hospital. She was sick, like lungs wouldn't clear up, Went to the hospital, man, and she stayed in there. They had her hooked up to stuff and, trying to clear her lungs out to get her strong enough to be able to breathe on her own. So anyway, at some point, and when she was in the hospital, I'm going up there again and seeing her and all this stuff. At some point, they said, okay, we're gonna take off the machine and we're gonna see if her lungs are strong enough for her to breathe on her own. They took her off the machine. And she wasn't strong enough to breathe on her own yet. Her lungs wasn't clear because she had liquid in her lungs and all that fluid in her lungs, so she wasn't able to clear her lungs. So, but I wasn't at the hospital at the time. I'm talking to her on the phone. So the nurse called me and she was like, yeah, her lungs not strong enough. We gotta put her back on the machine, but she don't want to get back on the machine. She just said she don't want to. I'm like, what? She was like, well, and if she don't want to, because she conscious enough to make her decisions, if she don't want to, we can't force her to get put back on the machine. So I said, what? So I said, wait a minute, let me come up there. Let me come up there and let me talk to her. You know what I mean? So I go to the hospital, my grandmother there, and I said, Grandma, you don't want to get them to put the tubes back in so you could, get your lungs strong enough so you could, be able to breathe on your own? She said, no, I want to die. I want to die. She said, I want to die. She said, I wanted to die. Clear, too. I said, Grandma, you want to die? She said, I want to die. My grandmother was so quiet, like a quiet lady, most givingest person I ever knew. And when she said that, she said, "I want to die." That's how it sounded. I just was done. At that point, I said, well, she want to die. She want to die. So much pain. She had lost her husband, sisters, her brother, her cousins. My younger cousin, who she raised since my grandmother had custody of since she was 5 years old. Her sister's daughter. She had died like a year or two prior. My mother died. Her real daughter, her only child, died. So she just said, ain't nothing. The only thing she could do is watch TV and smoke her cigarettes, man. And she couldn't do it no more. And then even before my grandmother passed, my cousin passed. Yeah, my cousin passed. One of my close cousins too. He passed. Horrible year, man, 2022. It just was a horrible year, y'all. Like extremely horrible for me. Extremely horrible. And even now, just talking about these things, I don't even know. And I had never planned a funeral or been involved in planning a funeral prior to my mother or grandmother. So I was, had to do that. Never done that before. Bring clothes to the funeral home and, take the money. Because thank God that they both had insurance policies enough to cover their, funeral and have a couple of dollars left over. It wasn't much for us to split, me, my brother, and my sister. But it was just horrible, man. It was just horrible. Horrible thing. Horrible year, man. Horrible year. Horrible. And I don't know how. I gotta take I don't know, man. I'm looking here at my camera, how the footage, I was looking all dim. I'm not sure what's going on. I gotta get this lighting thing right. Go and get this light thing right, because it's not right now. But I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. But yeah, man, 2022 did me dirty, did me filthy, did me extra filthy, man, extra dirty. I don't even know how. And ever since then, I don't know, man. I've been like out of it. Man. Like sleepwalking. Just sleepwalking. Just trying to figure out what am I here for? You know what I mean? Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, ever since this COVID thing had hit and hit 2020, man, things just got weird. Just got weird. You know what I'm saying? Just weird as fuck. Just weird. That year, I know a lot of y'all out there too just been saying the same thing. Like, this shit is just fucking weird, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I had thoughts in my head of relapsing and, on pills and, not dust though. I never thought about relapsing on dust, but the pills, yeah. Definitely did, man. And to quite be honest with you, I did kind of relapse. I took a couple pills here and there because of a female I ended up dealing with, that kind of, she wanted them and had me getting them from my people's for, and I kind of got trapped up and getting her the pills. And at first I was cool. I thought I was strong enough to, to stay away from them because I had been away from them for like over a year. And I thought I was strong enough to just stay away from them. But nah, I slipped up a few times up in there. But I kicked it again. I'm done. I didn't even do it that long. Probably like total of month or two. And I just kicked it again. Like, man, I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna go back down that road. Because of the pressure of just everything, man. Like, we all out here and we all trying to figure out what to do. And we got these kids. We got to think about them. We got to think about our own lives. You're so many things to so many different people. You're a brother, you're a father, you're a cousin, you're a friend, you're a boyfriend. You could be a husband. You could be all these things. And it's just so much, man, to deal with in this world. And there's so many things in the world that we live in. It's so, it's like, it's an insane asylum, because look at all the stuff on the news and, you know, like the stuff they pump and, you know, just the stuff they are allowed to sell us, and, you know, and it's bad for us, but they sell it to us. Like these restaurants, these foods, these show, like, this is an insane asylum. Just think about it. Wouldn't the world be so much better if everything they sold, we couldn't eat nothing or watch anything that was bad, or anything we eat was healthy for the most part? Like, most of the stuff that's out here, that these restaurants and stuff is it's bad for us, man. And I can see now that the truth is starting to come out. We in the age of Aquarius, and I can see now that more of the truth is starting to unfold. Just more of the truth, you know. And I know that we're gonna it's gonna be better for us, man. Whether in this lifetime or we come back in another lifetime, but we just gotta keep pushing on, man. Finding a way, believing in yourself. Just believing in yourself, man. You gotta believe in yourself, and that's what it's all about. You have to visualize and put intention and go after what you want, man. But you got to figure out what it is you want. And I'm in that process still right now. You know what I mean? I'm in that process right now. I'm just in that process, man. So 2022, fuck you. You did me dirty. You did me dirty. R.I.P. to my mother, Patricia Thomas, my grandmother, Lily Johnson, my cousin, Robert Williams. Did me dirty last year, 2022. So moving forward, I'm gonna keep pressing on. I'm gonna keep a smile on try to keep a smile on my face and figure out what I'm here for. You know what I mean? Thank you for another video, tuning into another video, Steppa said. I'm gonna get this lighting thing right, because I can see it's kind of dull, but I got y'all, and I'll be more consistent with these videos. I'm transparent as a motherfucker, man. That's what I'm about. I'm transparent in a motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Leave out with a little joke. This young dumb. What do gay horses eat? I just heard this the other day. This young dumb. Hey. Hey. All right, man. Peace, y'all. Love y'all.